Asian markets and Australia's geographic proximity are critical not just for our trade ties and our capacity to access important global supply chains, but also to the level of foreign investment in Australia. This is what you might see if you were traveling towards a black hole, with rocket engines slowing your descent. Another simulation mimics free fall into a hole. In the middle, the light of the entire universe appears to be concentrated in a bright ring. We use the developed and industrialized countries to see this argument. This axis argued about with, let us say, a government wishing to start drilling for oil in place X, which is full of wildlife, and Wildlife Conservation Society is urging them not to on the grounds that it's a wilderness refuge. He was one of the most famous scholars ever, but he was not known for any single discovery. Instead, he was known for the development of an encompassing theory of mind, one that he developed over the span of many decades.
Weatherization assistance, incentives for residential solar power, energy bill assistance, and utility disconnection protections are all viable strategies for helping the millions of households across the country that are currently unable to pay their energy bills. Face recognition is a hard problem, and it's a clever thing we do. If you think about all the different types of faces you can recognize, and all the different types of information you can get from the face, you kind of start to appreciate how well we can do face recognition. People used to go to only near places, but now people who don't have their own vehicles can go further because public transportation help them travel long distance. It's important to do. Diversity contributes a lot to the market and its culture. These are valuable people made in the image of God who are physically suffering. Many of them go without a personal relationship with Christ. So, we do this with a week of hands-on training, consisting of a variety of topics like basic sanitation and hygiene, taking vital signs, wound care and infection prevention, basic birth assisting and emergency skills. That is as the vehicle for the teaching research results. And in my experience, this kind of teaching is the most stimulated and motivating to students. I am also uncovered many interesting research problems is the cause of teaching assumption. As you move through the decades and get closer to the present day, the cigarette box became more and more of a focal point in the adverts. My argument is that the cigarette box has actually become iconic to each brand. So when a smoker takes a box out of their pocket, they are actually advertising that brand. The tropical areas on Earth are dry and hot, and are originally not suitable for food production. The change of the climate leads to extreme weather conditions such as flood and hurricane, which exacerbates the food production. You might suppose that many stars would light up the night like daytime. Until the 20th century, astronomers didn't think it was even possible to count all the stars in the universe. Freedom of movement is not just a matter of human rights and international solidarity, it is in our self-interest. Opening our borders may seem unrealistic. But so too, once, did abolishing slavery or giving women the vote. There is an expected increase in demand for various alternative resources, but people should ensure natural world can still work well to earn the future well-being because the world population rises. This question of whether language is partly due to nature or wholly due to learning or nurture is often referred to as the nature-nurture controversy, and has been discussed for centuries. Over the past 13 years, our Department of Architecture and Civil Engineering has led on research into straw as a low-impact building material. This work, which has included developing a unique straw bale panel as well as scientific monitoring and testing. House mice can be used as ideal biomarkers of human settlement to add to what is already known through archaeological data and answer important questions where there is a lack of artifacts, which has been supported by the research. People who have limited mobility or limited manual skills can find it difficult to obtain or hold printed material. Visually impaired people can find it difficult or impossible to read print, but both these groups can be enabled to use a computer and, therefore, access the information electronically. Public speaking, an activity that terrifies most people half to death, but only because they do not have much knowledge about it, terrifies you as you are scared of being judged or laughed at. Residential-size solar energy systems also have very little impact on the surrounding environment, in contrast with other renewable energy sources such as wind and hydroelectric power,